And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Doreen Bailey, who asked the question, who would win a fight? Rayman from the Rayman series, Rayman Raining Rabbits, or Crash Bandicoot from the Crash Bandicoot series? Now, I've had Rayman on here a couple times, and I've done Crash at least once when I pitted up against Spyro, and I called that, by the way, on Death Battle. Thank you very much. Uh, but these guys are very interesting. Neither of them are human. One's a Bandicoot. The other is... I don't know. I've actually never played the Rayman series. But the Rayman series, they're both wacky shenanigan people in their own right. Rayman basically is a body with floating, not even limbs, floating feet, separate that aren't actually attached, but kinda are. Floating hands and a floating head with no neck and no arms. Because he doesn't have any traditional limbs, he is able to stretch his body out a bit more, which allows for, more unique combat. He can, stretch his arms out for more fast punches that can go farther. He can stretch out, grab surfaces, and grabbing surfaces when traversing landscape. He is capable of doing like this weird little Rasengan Kamehameha, which is basically an energy ball. I'm trying to remember some of his other abilities. I've done him before, multiple times. I believe he has something that allows him to he can shrink his size. I remember that. He's also capable of doing something that involves metal. I think he's able to harden himself. Is that it? Either way, Crash Bandicoot though. Crash Bandicoot kind of brings a lot more to the fight overall. He's wacky. First off, he's very wacky. He's also got a very rubber-like ability. He can take a lot of hits and damage. He's got enhanced strength for a Bandicoot his size. He's got that weird mech thing that fires fruit. He's very agile. I'm trying to remember everything that came with Crash Bandicoot as well. Now that I'm actually on the spot. And he's a problem solver too, despite his wacky nature. Honestly, like this, I feel like this fight would pretty much be like back and forth on who's going to be able to just dish out more damage back and forth until who's going to go down first. I think for the amount of damage we've seen Crash take, it's going to take a lot for Rayman to actually put him down in a fight. I mean, these two are probably going to go, if you go mech to Rayman, who doesn't have a mech, Rayman's going to be at a disadvantage, but he can buy his little energy Kamehameha thing at the fruit that come in. He can, walk around. They fight mech to, like, stretchy hand. He starts bopping Crash in the face. Crash just, swings the mech around, and he's just, like, trying to, he's just trying to get him off. Eventually succeeding getting off and just, firing fruit at him, which, he's able to avoid some of it because he has no limbs. He's like, well, whoop up. So there'd be like a big, like a lot of scenario right there. I think what it really comes down to is while Crash is strong in many ways and durable in many ways, except for the mech, he really doesn't have much in terms of firepower on his side. I mean, he's got the bazooka too. I remember that. He's got the bazooka, which again also shoots the fruit, but does he have anything that can really put Rayman down? I don't really think so. Conversely, though, Rayman doesn't really have, I think, a lot in his corner either to put Crash down, especially with Crash's weird physiology. So, who do I think wins? Is this an actual draw? I very rarely do like a draw. In fact, I don't think I've ever really done a draw. Some of them get so close that I'm basically like, okay, if I really had to put money on it, who wins? But I never actually do a legitimate draw. I would say, though, that Rayman, I think, does have more overall abilities that he doesn't need equipment for. Whereas Crash's, pretty much all of his abilities, save for like his natural physiology, comes from tech. If the tech goes away, Crash just has his own base abilities to go with. And in that sense, Ray does have the advantage. And I think he would probably be able to eventually at least knock Crash out. I don't know if he'd be able to kill Crash, but he'd certainly be able to knock Crash out. But that's just my opinion ultimately. Ultimately, what is your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. My money's going on Rayman in this fight, but I could be very wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times before. And it is just my opinion. I've had one of my regular viewers, and I've seen him do this now a couple times. I'm assuming it's a him based on the name, and I'm not saying names. You can find that person if you want. Lately been a bit more... what's the best way to put it? Lately been a bit more... not entitled, closed-minded with their opinions in the comments, basically just flat out saying, I'm wrong for having my opinion on the subject. Or I've seen them comment about death bells. Like, no, they got it wrong because this. It's like, and I've had other people comment about it too. It's like, oh wait, why? It's like, because this. It's like that's not an argument. Yeah, so I'm like, come on, guys, it's just opinion. No one's actually wrong or right here. It's strictly just opinion. Now, if you want my opinion, I think Rayman's gonna win. That doesn't mean Crash couldn't win. Far from it. I don't do the percentages anymore because I feel like that's it's stupid at this point now to do percentages, at least in this sense. But yeah, ultimately, I do think that Crash would lose the fight in one way or another. So it's just opinion, and that's fine. Till then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching. I'll see you folks later.